What's up guys, my name is Andrew, also known as Wandy the Maker, and this is Upcycled. I'm all about DIY fashion and using upcycling to construct or reconstruct garments. Whether it's hopping on new trends or experimenting with new styles, there's nothing more satisfying than creating your own piece of clothing that nobody else has. In today's episode, we're going to be turning a shoe into a corset. We're using a high top model for this one just because there's a little bit more fabric to work with, so let's get into it. Alright, so for this project, we're going to need some bias tape, some eyelets, some elastic, cord locks, a box cutter, scissors, a punch tool, and an eyelet tool. Alright, so first step, we're going to take our shoe and get our box cutter, and we're just going to start by taking the sole off. So you'll notice this part's a little bit harder. We're going to start right there and just start slowly cutting that sole off. So now that you have the back cut, you can use scissors to cut through the lighter fabric. And if you're comfortable, you can use the razor blade again for the toe box. And it's nice to have your shoe on a nice and stable surface just so it's not moving around and so you don't cut your fingers. So now that we have the sole cut off, we're just going to take this cardboard piece out of our heel box. And then we're going to cut this tongue piece off. And now we're going to cut right down the middle on this back piece here. So now we're done with the first part. It's for the center part of the torso, and you're gonna repeat these steps with the other shoe, and it's gonna look something like this. And you're just gonna take your scissors and cut this toe box off. So one is gonna have the toe box cut off, and the other one is not. Now that we have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these shoelaces. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and cut right along this curve, separating the two pieces. Now we're gonna take this center piece with the toe box and we're gonna add some bias tape to these raw edges here. And I'm just gonna cut out a little bit longer than the top. And we're gonna start folding it over and pinning it in place. It's time to sew. I'm using a straight stitch and I'm gonna start pretty slow because this is a thick material. So now that you're done with that, you're just gonna repeat that process on the other side. And we're gonna do the same for the back piece. All right, so now that we have all the bias tape done, we're gonna go ahead and position these side pieces just like that with the eyelets going down with the body and facing outwards. So I'm gonna take this side piece here and place right sides together on this side just like that. And you're gonna either pin or clip down this edge. And we're just gonna sew a straight stitch really close to that edge, about 1/8 of an inch. And once you're done with that, you're just gonna open it up and we're gonna do a top stitch right here just so it lays flatter. So we're doing the same thing on this side. We're making sure these eyelets are going down and out just like this. And we're gonna put right sides together. And once you have these clipped, you're just gonna sew this seam, making sure not to sew over these eyelets, and then do a top stitch, just like this other side. So now that we have both sides attached and top stitched, this next step is optional. We're gonna add eyelets right here for extra detail and neck straps. So I'm gonna take my hole puncher, and we're just gonna hit it just like this. And then you're gonna take your eyelet tool and then press. And it should look something like this. All right, so now that we have the eyelets attached, we're gonna take the shoestring from the other shoe and feed it through the eyelets so we can create the neck strap. And once you're here, you can tie it however you want, but we're gonna do it like this. You're gonna wanna cut at least 15 feet of this cord, and then we're gonna start feeding it through these eyelets in a cross pattern, just like on a shoe. And now we're gonna secure it in the back using a cord stop. Just gonna pull it tight, and we're all done. A corset made out of a tennis shoe. Let's see how it looks on our model. And there you have it. The old shoes came back to life as a corset. You can style it in a lot of ways. Play around with the laces, remove the neck string, and move around the ties on the back. We switched it up from the trend, which is just focused on the waist. We kind of made it into a top, but there's so many different options that you can do. Go ahead and grab a pair of sneakers and try it out yourself. Once again, I'm Wandy the Maker. Catch you back here for the next episode of Upcycled.